Basements are often where the darkest secrets are hidden, tucked away from the light, old memories and keepsakes, too eerie to be kept on the surface, and things that would raise eyebrows if discovered. They often serve as a place for troubled minds to confront the scariest corners of human imagination. Jonathan Wickelm, a YouTuber, decides to explore the creepy, aged basement of his girlfriend's apartment building, suspecting that something sinister might be lurking there. He isn't wrong.
So James agreed, the moment you walk in this room, it's creepy. It makes no sense. Over by James, there's a random stool and a microwave. Is it plugged in? No. Okay, so it gets weirder.
In the center of the room sits a large cedarwood box with a strange feature, a door that only unlocks from the outside. Sticking out from the top of this unassuming box is a pipe, presumably used for ventilation.
This is what it is. It is a small room with chairs. It's nothing else.
Jonathan discovers a hidden room, one that could easily conceal a person and keep them undisturbed for an extended period. What was being kept down there? The answer is chilling, and perhaps I already know it.
James, look at this. James, look at this. There's scratch marks. There are legit scratch marks. There are f***ing scratch marks.
Drilled into the ceiling of this secret chamber are holes designed for additional ventilation. Scarily enough, slashes mark the edges of these holes, as if human nails had scraped across the surface in frantic desperation.
So that the fresh air could still come in, but you couldn't get your hand up there. You can reach out and signal to people. Right there.
So far, Jonathan has found a box that could be used to imprison someone. Outside of it sits a stool where someone could sit for hours, listening to the muffled screams and desperate scratching sounds until mealtime came around. Presumably, the captive would be served microwaved food to keep them alive for another day in the basement. And here's the scariest discovery of all. If you were wondering what became of the unfortunate souls trapped in that basement, it becomes clear when Jonathan stumbles upon an old, well-used contraption.
It's actually an old incinerator.
It appears that when they were finished with the prisoners, they were released from the box and loaded into an incinerator. Jonathan finds ash at the bottom, suggesting the incinerator has been recently used. With so many horrifying discoveries in this basement, it's hard not to believe something sinister has happened here. Perhaps it's time for his girlfriend to find a new apartment. Klaus makes a chilling discovery in his basement, one so unsettling that he feels compelled to set up multiple cameras in an attempt to capture whatever's lurking there. What he finds is a thick, eerie layer of snakeskin pressed against the wall. The mere sound it makes when touched is enough to send a shiver down anyone's spine.
What in the world?
Upon closer inspection, he identifies the skin as belonging to a juvenile snake. This seems like a reasonable conclusion. After all, the snake must still be growing if it's shedding its skin regularly.
Ladies and gentlemen, that right there is a big snake. And it's somewhere in my basement.
You can even see where the snake used the grooves between two stones to scrape off its old skin, emerging larger than before. A quick online search confirms that snakes can easily enter basements through cracks in the foundation or even plumbing drains. Once they find their way inside, they aren't likely to leave on their own. Removing them requires either handling the situation yourself or calling in an expert. Based on the description, the snake is estimated to be over 3 feet long, which makes this a job best left to the professionals. A ghost haunting the basement of a construction site has terrified workers to the point where they avoid the area entirely. However, one day, After all of their power tools mysteriously fail at the same time, one brave, or perhaps foolish, worker volunteers to venture into the basement to reset the breakers. The others are too terrified to accompany him, and it's clear he doesn't feel safe either. To ease his nerves, he decides to record the experience on video, thinking it will help. But little did he know, the footage he captures would end up haunting him for the rest of his life. Let's break it down. As he ventures deeper into the long, narrow passageway, he passes two dark and seemingly empty rooms. In the second room, he spots something that chills him to the core. A ghostly gray figure slowly drags itself across the cold concrete floor. He hears shuffling noises from behind him, but doesn't dare look back. Though he doesn't see the apparition again, he presses on, exploring the catacomb-like maze, determined to find the circuit box buried somewhere in one of these dark rooms. As he moves deeper into the shadows, something in the darkness startles him, an eerie sensation that grips him in fear. Suddenly, a strange, mysterious light spills into the hall, and when he reaches the source, he finds the room utterly devoid of light. The paranormal presence grows stronger, intensifying his dread. His only instinct is to flee, and without hesitation he bolts out of the dark hallway, desperate to escape. In his panic, he uploads the terrifying video to YouTube, unable to shake the feeling of dread. It's a decision he might later regret. As he watches his own footage, he learns that several other workers had experienced similar flashes of light and strange shapes in the basement. The video, uploaded on December 13, 2019, remains the only post on his channel. There are no further updates about the creepy basement or the chilling occurrences. Before quitting on the spot, perhaps running for their lives never to return. A chilling video that might capture someone's final moments leaves me with an unbearable sense of dread. It feels disturbingly real, and I'm sure I'm not alone in thinking her panic screams sound heartbreakingly genuine. She's pounding on a door, shouting for help, but her desperate cries echo off the cold, empty basement walls, offering no comfort. There's no one there to save her from this confined, eerie room. Her fear seems all too real. Either she truly can't escape, or she's one of the most convincing actors imaginable. The fact that a camera is ominously set up, aimed directly at the door, suggests that someone, perhaps even a twisted group, is deliberately orchestrating her torment. The thought of it makes my stomach churn. It's hard not to imagine this clip being part of something far more sinister and larger in scale. I'm sharing this unsettling footage in the hope that someone might recognize its origin and ease my mind, because those gut-wrenching screams haunt me every time I close my eyes.
And there is literally sounds coming in my basement right now, and it's freaking me out. Kids are upstairs asleep, and I'm gonna go down and check right now. This is freaky right now, because I rarely go in my basement. It's an unfinished basement.
A YouTuber known as an Everyday Canadian has been haunted by fear ever since capturing an unexplainable event in his basement on camera.
Oh, what the f*** is that sound?
Tension tightens in his chest, but he knows he can't stay frozen at the doorway forever. The unsettling noises won't reveal their source unless he musters the courage to descend the stairs into the basement, a place shrouded in dread and mystery, hiding something chilling in its depths.
Like, I don't even want to go down there. It's dark. Hold on, guys. Let me just get my light on here quick. This is freaking me out.
A rattling bolted lock, a gaping hole, from which the visitor is left to their own devices. He thought nothing could be worse than the unknown lurking below.
8 basements. My laundry machine just stopped. It's just me in the basement. What the f was that?
The truth behind strange sounds in your home is often far more unsettling than your imagination. Venturing into the basement can lead to encounters with inexplicable phenomena, moments that leave you wishing you could delete them from both your footage and your memory. And sometimes, the explanation is as eerie as a simple toy dangling from a string. Scratching sounds coming from the basement are enough to put anyone on edge. While some might call for help, others grab their phones, not for assistance, but to ensure that whatever's lurking below is captured on video. That's exactly what 2 roommates decide to do after one of them hears unsettling noises from a hidden crawl space.
Man, I heard noises. Hold on, move this way.
Feel scary cat, dude. It could have been rats or whatever. What about it? We got a whole bunch of rats.
There's no chance he's venturing into the creepy crawl space after those eerie noises. Instead, his bolder roommate volunteers to check it out.
Are you going down there?
I'm not.
There's a light right there, dude. You go down there while I record.
As he peers into the darkness, he's met with the most terrifying sight of his life.
Like the light right there, the string. It's around here somewhere. Hold up. I can't reach. I think I gotta step on that chair. There's a chair right here.
Peering into the darkness, he stumbles upon the most terrifying discovery of his life.
Hold up. Oh shit! What's that?
At 1 minute and 27 seconds into the video, a shadowy figure seems to rise up to confront him. His scream pierces the air, and the video abruptly ends before revealing whether he managed to escape the crawl space unscathed. The video's title claims it shows a ghost hiding in the basement, but I'm not convinced it's a supernatural encounter. Something sinister is undoubtedly down there, but consider this. It might not be a ghost. There's a chair directly under the crawl space entrance, positioned as if someone had been using it to climb into the home. Why would it be there unless it was placed by an intruder? This doesn't feel like a ghostly haunting. It seems more like a terrifying encounter with a stranger caught on video. That's my take, but what do you think about this chilling footage? Not every creepy basement is dark and haunted, but this one seems to fit the bill perfectly. Each visit becomes more terrifying as paranormal activity in the area continues to increase. It always begins the same way, with the sound of a ghost slamming the door.
Who's there?
At the 41-second mark, the fear escalates when a twisted, eerie figure is captured on camera. This spectral form appears to be bound in a cloak, its pale, glowing eyes barely visible. Though the figure is caught on video, it cannot be seen in real life. Determined, but clearly frightened, the investigator presses on, exploring the basement's sinister corners. However, the terror soon becomes too much, and he prepares to flee. His fear peaks when he notices a ball moving on its own, rolling unnaturally across the floor. It appears as though an unseen force has pushed it. While skeptics might argue that a string could be responsible, this explanation does little to account for the earlier ghostly figure caught on tape. The chilling events leave the investigator convinced that something truly paranormal is happening in this basement.